Monday, December 6th, 2021. Today on the Daily Review, we discuss The Magic Christian, starring Peter Sellers and Ringo Starr from 1969. With your host, me, Joe Loraka. Who did that? That was very unprofessional. Anyway, so based on watching all this Beatles stuff and then listening to some of Tim Heidecker, Tim and Eric, who's a big Beatle head, he does a little podcast sometimes about the Beatles, and he did one with Eric Natornicola, doing a little 2.5 hour kind of discussion of what they saw in that Beatles documentary. And at one point, Tim asked the question. Basically, he was hoping someone would call in or text in or whatever. He was like, "Is the Magic Christian worth the time constraints it put on the Get Back sessions?" Because Ringo had a hard out, at the end of January for the shooting of the film. So he was basically like, in that, like, put so much pressure on. Oh, we got to do the concert. And the answer, Tim, is no. No, it was not worth it. I love Ringo, and I love Peter Sellers, and there's a Monty Python vibe to this movie, and Christopher Lee, Spike Milligan, Raquel Welch, Roman Polanski, they all show up in this movie. Most of them don't hardly say anything. Yul Brynner serenades Roman Polanski dressed as a woman. It's strange. Okay, wait, let me just get into this. It opens and you're like, this is going to be great because it's got that it's 1969 and it's just got that 60s vibe, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a satire about money because it starts as a close-up portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, and it's like, God save the Queen. It pulls out and it's on like a 10-pound note, It's like, that's right, we worship money. I get it. And then there's like a sing-along opener with the bouncing ball, and I was like, all right, this is gonna be great. I'm down. And then it's just a shotgun blast of skits, essentially, of just nonsense, just pretty simple production value, that compressed mono sound where you can't really tell who's talking or it's been dubbed over, and it's just weird. And a lot of the jokes fall flat. It's just a bunch of dark humor about Peter Sellers, who's incredibly wealthy. Like, you don't even really know what he does. He's got his fingers in lots of pies or whatever. And he just, for no real reason other than, I guess, he has no son of his own, so he just adopts Ringo off the street, who's like, he's just like a street person feeding the ducks or whatever. And in the scene where they meet, which is the opening, the music is so loud that you can't hear them talking. It's obviously done intentionally, but it's like, this is probably the most important scene of the movie, and you're just throwing it away. It's like, so there's no plot and there's no character development. It's all just a setup to kind of make fun of incredibly wealthy people, being like, look at all the stupid shit they do. And some of the satire's, kind of funny. It's very like it's like a bit of flying circus vibe to it, like there's this one thing where they have this meeting, and Peter Sellers is like, we got to make a car that's really big, and there's like an animation of this car that's like takes up the whole street and can fit like a whole chorus line of girls in the back and stuff. And then and then they have this whole meeting for that's like 5 minutes long, and you're like, geez, this is kind of like a weird office. It's kind of narrow, and then everybody goes like that, and then it cuts to an exterior shot and shows that they're on a train, like they're in an office room on a train. And I was like, that's funny. Though, it's just like, it's just like a big sight gag, sort of. But since there's no characters, really, and there's no plot, it's just kind of a strung together series of events. It gets tedious. Although they do build in kind of craziness. This definitely, it feels like it should have been like a TV movie, Peter Sellers apparently had to be convinced after seeing rushes of the film, which is like some footage of it, who was like, we should stop doing this. it's like Ringo has maybe a page of dialogue in the whole movie. He's like hardly in it. He hardly says anything. It's like clear that they're trying to like not have him in the movie as much as they need to sell the movie as having Ringo star in it, but he really is not present, as they say. So there's one joke, they go to the theater and they do like each little kind of vignette is a taking on like how just different forms of things in society. That's such a stupid sentence that I just said. But like they go to see Hamlet and it turns out to be like a burlesque version where like Hamlet starts stripping during the to be speech, and then it's like, oh, newspaper journalism, and then they make fun of that. Then that, like I said, the automotive industry gets a yeah, we get it. Everybody loves money. We get the joke. We'll do horrible things for it. I think the story is good. Like that idea of, it's basically like Trading Places did a much better job and much clearer, like infinitely more clear what the message is, and we get to like know and love that character. Essentially, I think it's supposed to be that Ringo becomes shitty by the end, whereas in the beginning he was like kind of nice, but we didn't get enough time really with him to know if he were nice or not. I mean, he has like one little conversation with a woman on a bench about why he wears sunglasses, and he goes, "The sun hurts my eyes," and then she goes, "Ah," and then he runs away. It's like we needed to see him like, you know, like spend his last quid, to buy like a sausage for a little dog or something, you know what I mean? And then we're like, oh, and then the money corrupts him, which is what's supposed to happen, but the filmmaking is so poor. Like, ugh. Like there's one on where they go, there's like a hunting bit, you know, all the rich people, and they got their shotguns and the dogs and stuff, and then, you know, the pheasants go up. He's like a machine gun to get the pheasants to go up, and then Peter Sellers like has an anti-aircraft rifle and is like shooting them out of the sky, and then they blow torch it, you know, like a flamethrower. I mean, and then it like brings it up cooked. It's like, all right. Then there's like some racist bits about an African bringing a lion to a dog show, and there's some pretty homophobic bits where maybe that's part of the satire, where it's like, oh, this is what rich people think of this, you know, something like oh, it's their response to it. But all of that, all the jokes really kind of died on the vine. Maybe this was groovy back in 1969, but now it's like a meme could achieve what this movie is trying to say more effectively than they just do nothing with it. So I highly don't recommend it. Even if you're a Beatles fan, it really has nothing to do with the Beatles at all, except that the song Come and Get It, which is still a popular song, or relatively popular, is written by a good friend, Paul. Sure, I'll do what accent was that? I'll do a movie. Anyway, now I gotta watch How I Won the War, the John Lennon starring role. We'll have to compare them. Anyway, yeah, it's not good. Look at it's not good. That's all I gotta say. That's my thorough review. Hey, am I wrong about the Power of the Dog? Everybody's like, it's the best movie of the year, and I read all these articles of people going nuts about it. And I was like, geez, it really didn't impact me like that. Like I said, I did like how it ended. Maybe I have to give it another chance. And Justin's World, or Justin Reviews Film, or Justin Talks Film, excuse me. He's down on my thing, on my page or whatever. He's one of my featured channels. See, his review of it made me kind of go, oh, should I watch The Power of the Dog again? He had much better perspective on it than I did. So, I don't know. Let's do a little bit of music. I don't even know what we're going to do music-wise. Or whether it could even be called music. Let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, this is an old song. Remember this song? Let's go to this camera. The camera works pretty consistently. Let's see if this works. Oh, it's kind of working. guess not. There it is. That looper. Yeah. Okay. The Magic Christian, directed by Joseph McGrath. Did you guys know money corrupts? Well, if you don't, Ringo and Peter Sellers will not help you understand that, unfortunately. They can't all be good, ladies.